So hello dears, welcome back. So already we have discussed about epidermis layer. Now second thing we have to discuss about here dermatology. There is something called basement membrane zone, or we also call it as dermoepidermal junction. Dermoepidermal junction. So between the epidermis and dermis we have an area. So that's what we are going to talk here. See, as you all know, this epidermis contain what all layers we know, right? The inner layer is called stratum basal layer. So imagine this is the epidermis. We are having here stratum basal, or which layer? Basal layer. And here we will have our dermis, a white figure. So what we are going to talk here, what is in between all these things? First of all, in the basal layer itself, we have filaments here, right? We have K15 as well as K14 filaments. The stratum basal layer of the epidermis. After that, we can see 4 proteins structurally. Proteins there. Two different colors. So these proteins, this is called plectin, and this is called integrins. Integrin. Then we have something called some more things like BPAG1, BPAG1 and BPAG2. So plectin, integrins, BPAG1, BPAG2. So all these together, we call it as, you have something called hemidesmosomal protein. Hemidesmosomal protein. For proper understanding, let's make dermis little below. Imagine this is dermis. So what all structure after that you can see? After that, there is a protein or layer called laminin. There is something that attach here. We call it as laminin. And this where this laminin is located, this all laminin together, they are called lamina lucida. Lamina lucida, or we also call it as salt split layer. Salt split layer. So remember that too. Then this laminin, they will be connected to something here that is called lamina densa. Lamina densa. Below the lamina densa, we have something that will connect to the dermis. That structure is called sublamina densa. Sublamina densa, or it is also called lamina fibroreticularis. Lamina fibroreticularis. Remember, lamina densa is made up of collagen 4 Collagen, we have different types of collagen. This fibroticular is made up of collagen 7. Collagen 7. Hope everyone got what we talked here, the idea. And all these proteins are having different names also. So that is also asked in the exam. Other names like, BPAG1, what we have written here. This BPAG1 is also called BP230. Then we have BPAG2. It's also called BP180, or we also call it as collagen 70. Then we have something that laminin. It's also called as anchoring filaments. Anchoring filaments. Then collagen 7 here, that is also called anchoring fibrils. Collagen 7 is also termed as anchoring fibrils. Yeah, hope all got the point. So these are the different structures present between what dermal and epidermal junction. We call it as what basement membrane zone. Now remember, so if you have any disorders in this protein that can cause you any damage, we are going to pathology site. Any damage can cause, what they can cause, subepidermal disorders. Subepidermal disorders. That itself include, first one, there is something called bullous pemphigoid. Bullous pemphigoid. It is normally because of damage to which protein, BPAG1. Both AG1 is more common, or BPAG2 can be also. Then there is something called linear IgA disease. 1 and 2 you can write here. Linear IgA disease. That is because of damage to what? BPAG2. BPAG2. The next one, there is something called herpes gestationalis. It is because of damage to, remember, BPAG2 again. Then we have something called epidermolysis bullosa dystrophications. So these are the main pathology. That is because of damage to collagen 7. Collagen 7 injury or damage. These are the main disorders we have to remember from what? These subepidermal disorders, or because of epidermodermal junction protein disorders. So that's all about the junction we have to know. Next one, so epidermis done. Then we have done with the basement membrane zone. Then the next layer in the skin is what? Dermis. So let's talk about the next important layer. What is our dermis? Dermis itself is divided into two parts. One is the upper part and other is the lower part. Upper is known as papillary part. If you remember, papillary for fingerprinting, like this is unique for every person. Papillary nerve endings are present, and lower is reticularis. There we have dense connective tissue for protection of skin and all. Right. Remember, in the dermis, they will ask you the MCQ like, what is the most abundant fibers here? Most abundant fibers in dermis. It is none other than collagen type 1. Collagen 1 is very higher. Even 3 is also present, so 1 is more. Collagen 1 is more than 3. They ask you most abundant cells. What is the most abundant cells in what? Dermis. It is our fibroblast. Fibroblast. So that's all about the important point about dermis we are remember. Next one, as we know, is our subcutaneous layer. Subcutaneous layer. As all of us know, this layer contains two parts again. One is called fat lobules. Fat lobules. Other is called septa. Septa. And remember, this subcutaneous layer is also known as panniculus. We need it. Panniculus. That is also called as panniculus. So now let's see what are the yield question asked in the exam. So we talked about all the layers of skin. There is something called septal pathology. I'm coming here again. Panniculitis, inflammation. That is inflammation of subcutaneous layer. But it is seen in which disease? Erythema nodosum. Erythema nodosum. Then we have something called lobular panniculitis. Lobular again panniculitis. It is seen with, remember, lobular erythema inturatum. Inturatum. Talking here erythema nodosum, very important severely asked exam question in dermatology. What are the causes of erythema nodosum? Erythema nodosum causes. That is asked in all the exam, that's why I'm mentioning here. You can remember as a mnemonics itself here. Remember like nodosum. No. No. Dosum. Just mnemonics. So nodosum are the causes of what? Erythema nodosum. NO4, there is no cause. Matlab, there is no cause in medicine called. They are idiopathic. Right? O4, they can be caused by even oral contraceptive pills. Oral contraceptive pills. Again, D4, the drugs. Can remember that is a drugs are what? Oral contraceptive pill. Then U4, ulcerative colitis. Ulcerative colitis. Then S4, sarcoidosis. Sarcoidosis. And in the case of streptococcus infection. Streptococci infection. Then U4 again, ulcerative colitis, S4 mnemonics. Remember M4 like maternity, that is pregnancy, mother, mom. Pregnancy, as well as in the case of mycosis, fungal infection. The case of mycobacterium, tuberculosis. So three things. So just to mention here, high topic, that is what are the causes of erythema nodosum. So remember that too. Now, some other very important high yield point here. Remember, there is a condition called dermographism. In which disease we see dermographism? Dermographism is seen with, remember, urticaria, type 1 hypersensitivity, urticaria or urticaria, because of triple response. Triple lockdown, like triple response. But the reason for it, triple response. Then we have something called white dermographism. White dermographism. It is seen in which disease? Atopic dermatitis. It is seen with atopic dermatitis. Then we have something called Darrier sign. Darrier sign. It is seen with what? Urticaria pigmentosa. It is seen with urticaria pigmentosa. and that is two. This atopic dermatitis was due to what? Vasoconstriction. Remember, urticaria pigmentosa, that can happen because of cutaneous mastocytosis. Cutaneous mastocytosis. Then we have pseudo means false. Pseudo Darrier sign, that is seen with smooth muscle, hamartoma, smooth muscle hamartoma. And that is due to piloerection. Piloerection. These are the different signs that is very commonly asked in the exam. Darrier sign, pseudo Darrier sign, everything. Hope you will remember that. Next one, let's talk about in dermatology. Next topic, skin appendages. Skin appendages. As you know, we have three main skin appendages to include our hair, then we have our nails, as well as our glands. So hair, nails and glands, these are the main skin what appendages. Talking about hair, remember this hair will have something called bulge area, that is also known as Adamson fringe. Adamson's fringe, and they act as a stem cells also. They act as stem cells. Then we have hair cycles. Remember, in our human life we have what? Hair cycles. So we have something called anagen, collagen and telogen. Remember, anagen normally lasts for 3 years, collagen for 3 weeks, telogen for 3 months. Or remember mnemonics like ACT, anagen, collagen and telogen. So like this. In other form we have month, week, year, alphabetical order, right? ACT, MWY. It means telogen by what? 3 months, collagen by 3 weeks, and 3 years by what? Anagen. So life cycle time period can be asked. A, B, C, D, F, G, alphabetical order. Here also the arrow mark is here, so you can remember for the lifetime. So these hair cycle will also have pathology or disorders. So let's talk about that, the disorders here. There is a condition called anagen effusium. Normally it happens after chemotherapy. You can see many people, they lost their hair complete after what? Doing a chemotherapy after diagnosing cancer. So anagen effusium happens with what? Chemotherapy. Then there is something called telogen effusium. You know, telogen life cycle, they stand for 3 months. So after 3 months of pregnancy, people will come and say, I have weight loss. Or in the case of 3 months of typhoid fever, or in the case of some chronic illness, like even the history they are giving, the last 3 months they are having this problem and they're coming up with what? Some hair loss or these things. So you can suspect what? The telogen effusium. The last one, that is called androgen alopecia, that is from the word only, as everyone know, androgen alopecia. That is because of androgen. What is androgen? DHT. DHT means dihydro. So everyone know what is DHT itself means. Dihydrotestosterone. Dihydrotestosterone. This DHT will cause patterned hair loss. What they will cause you? Patterned hair loss. That too in males as well as in females. They will be showing this hair loss in both males as well as what? Females. And you can see in males and female there is a different pattern of hair loss, like clinically as well as theoretically we can differentiate how the hair loss in male and female. Males normally have a type of hair loss called Hamilton type. What is the type of hair loss in males? Hamilton. Hamilton means if this is a male, he will have hair loss. This frontal area, he will have, this hair will come. So frontal area or frontal line start receding. You can just imagine bald people, line start recedes. The same time he will lose hair from the vertex hair loss. So this is the most common pattern of hair loss seen in what? Males. Females will have two types. One is called Ludwig type, as well as other called Olsen type. Olsen. From the word only, see, female frontal will be maintained, or they don't have that front baldness. Front hairlines will be maintained. But actually what is happening in this Ludwig, L-U-D, G, last alphabet. In Ludwig and all, they will lose the hair from front and cortex. Loss of hair from front as well as vertex. Olsen, same like from the front, they will have a patchy hair loss like this. Hair loss. It is called Olsen type. So these are the type of pattern of hair loss seen with what? Both males and females. Next one, how you manage this treatment. So we have US federal drug approval for what? Treating. So we can have two types of treatment. One is called topical one. It's very famous now in clinics, as well as systematic. You know, topical include, there is very important drug called minoxidil. As you know, the side effect of this drug is used as a potential benefit of what? Growing hair. So in males we use around 5%, in female we use around 2%. Then by tablet, systematic means by tablet we can take 5 alpha reductase inhibitors. We have different types of it. Mainly we use this type 2 one. Type 2. The best example is finasteride. And that too we take 1 mg daily without any side effect. 1 mg daily can be taken. Right, you know, they will prevent dihydroxy testosterone formation. So that's the different types of hair loss and how we manage it. So that are commonly seen. Now we have something called, there's a type of autoimmune hair loss. That hair loss is called as same like alopecia areata. You might have heard from the word only, hair loss in the area. Areata. What we are supposed to know here is a autoimmune patchy hair loss. And there is a very important mark we see here, that is called exclamation mark. Exclamation mark sign will be seen. This is called exclamation mark, right? There is a broad distal end and the broken end. The distal end will be broad and you can see a broken end. So exclamation mark is seen with what? Alopecia areata. Similar manner, we have one more sign there that is called turning gray phenomena. Turning gray phenomena. As it autoimmune, there are a lot of things associated that comes with what? This alopecia areata. One of this, in this case, you can see some nail changes in the patient. You can see pitting of nail. Pitting of nail. And if you do a biopsy of that area, you can see histological biopsy, lymphocytic infiltration. Lymphocytic infiltration. That is seen namely in the perifollicular or in the peribulbar area. Peribulbar area. As it is an autoimmune disease, how you will manage them? Of course, we have to use what? Steroids mainly. The steroids again we use topically or systematically. Then you can tie like irritants, contact irritants that can make hair growth. That is called dinitro-chlorobenzene. Then also we can try phototherapy. So these are the different types of hair loss, and that was the appendage of skin topic normally, right? So once again, we were talking about today basement membrane zone and dermoepidermal junction. Epidermis and the dermis have some protein in between them. It include plectin. The striatum basal layer, they have keratin filaments 15 and 14. Plectin integrins BPAG1, AG2, they are called hemidesmosomal protein. Then they have lamellin, they connect to the lamina densa where they have collagen 4. This laminin, they come under lamina lucida, that is also called salt split layer. Then dermis and this lamina densa is connected by something called sublamina densa under or lamina fibroreticularis. Then these, and they are made up of collagen 7. All these proteins have different names. BPAG1 is called BP230, BPAG2 is called BP180 or collagen 70. Laminin is called anchoring filament, collagen 7 is called anchoring fibrils. Now, any damage of this protein can cause what? Disease for them. That include bullous pemphigoid because BPAG1 and AG2 damaged. Linear IgA disease because of what damaged? BPAG2. Herpes gestationalis because of BPAG2. Epidermolysis bullosa dystrophians because of collagen 7 damage. Dermis have upper and lower part. Remember, upper means papillary, lower means reticularis. Most abundant fibers is collagen 1 and that is more than 3 in the dermis layer. Most abundant cells is fibroblast. That's we talk about dermis. Then we talk about the last layer in the skin, that is the subcutaneous. It is also called panniculus. We have fat lobules and septa there. Then we talked about some disease like septical panniculitis where you see with erythema nodosum and lobular panniculitis with what? Erythema induratum. Erythema nodosum, some causes are remember nodosum, N for no cause, idiopathic, OCP, drugs or ulcerative colitis, sarcoidosis and streptococci, pregnancy, mycosis and mycobacterium tuberculosis. Then some signs we see with different diseases: dermographism urticaria because of triple response, white dermographism in atopic dermatitis because of vasoconstriction, diarrhea sign in urticaria pigmentosa because of cutaneous mastocytosis, pseudodiarrhea sign in smooth muscle hamartoma because of piloerection. Then we talked about skin appendage. We have skin, nails and glands. We'll talk about this nails and glands soon. Hair is we have bulge area called Adamson fringe. There where we have stem cells. Hair cycle we have 3 anagen, calogen and telogen, 3 years, 3 weeks and 3 months. Remember in the alphabetic order, and here also alphabetic, 3 months, 3 weeks and 3 years, you remember for lifetime. Disorders include anagen effusium, that is because after chemotherapy, telogen effusium, 3 months of pregnancy or typhoid fever, chronic illness, androgen alopecia because of DHT increase, so like patterned hair loss in male and female. In male we saw Hamilton, front line will be recedes and vertex hair loss will be there. In female we have Ludwig type and Olsen type. Ludwig loss of hair from front end vertex. In Olsen type, there is a hair loss in the front. Then treatment topical, we give minoxidil 5% in male, 2% in female. Systematic, we can give 5 alpha reductase inhibitors type 2, finasteride 1 mg daily without any side effect. Alopecia areata is the other type of hair loss where it is autoimmune patchy hair loss, where you see exclamation mark and turning gray phenomena. In the other associated condition here in the nail, you can see pitting, biopsy of the histology cells here. You see lymphocyte infiltration in the perifollicular peribulbar area. Here also treatment as an autoimmune, we use topical or systemic. Irritants, you can use dinitrochlorobenzene, or we can go with what, phototherapy. So that's all we are going to discuss about what other appendages of skin like nails and glands.